Hi everybody, it's me, Charles Norman, Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS. And first of all, this is my the week before Christmas video I like to do every single year. And so Merry Christmas to all of you guys. And then anyone that doesn't really celebrate Christmas, whatever you do celebrate, please have a happy holiday and spend time with your family if possible. It's really kind of what it's all about as far as I'm concerned and from my side of things. So one of the things I do every single year is I always give you guys a special gift for that week before Christmas, and I'm going to do the same thing this year. So I give you a code. Now down below with AthleticSOS, if you don't know what it's all about, AthleticSOS is for you if you have a kid that plays high school sports, looking to get an athletic scholarship, and they want to find the best school for them, the best fit academically, athletically, the whole gamut. You want to use our software. We just take your information and we show you the schools you're academically qualified to attend that have that sport at the level you can participate, and then you can start to reach out and we show you how to do that. But you can look more into those schools and you'll find schools you didn't even know existed that are available to your kid, and you won't waste time on schools that you don't qualify to attend or don't have that sport. You don't have to go searching and pecking around. So we kind of solve all that for you. But what I don't normally do from here is I don't give you guys the academic only piece. That's usually for our partners, for any kind of schools or institutions we're working with. It's sort of the separator. So usually when I'm doing this is for the kids that are only trying to get athletic scholarships, but inside our software, it's much more sophisticated than that. But on this one, if you look down below, I give you a code. I give you our regular code. But I'm also going to give you a special code this week that will allow you to use the academic only piece too. That means your kid plays at the high school level. Maybe they didn't get an athletic scholarship opportunity, but they still want to go to college. Which colleges do you qualify for? And also inside that academic only piece, we show you federally accredited trade schools. So your kid, you know, what we're trying to do is say, if you played sports in high school, we're going to help you out no matter what. So I usually don't give that out because I've got agreements with all my partners not to do that. But it's still my software, and I still told them I've been doing this before. So I make it clear to them that I may give this out every year, just one time. And everybody seems to be okay with that. So we're good to go. So look down below. You'll see a special code. You'll see our regular code. You'll see instructions for how to use the code. And then I usually put a little brief video that kind of walks you through, 1-minute video, shows you kind of how AthleticSOS works. So really excited. Please feel free to use it. The only caveat I will give you guys for the special code is on January 1st, it no longer works. So if you see this in early January, the regular code will still work if you're trying to get an athletic scholarship, but the special code that gives you academic only won't be there. It's just part of the agreement I made, so I'm going to stick with it and try to do the right thing. Now, this week, what we want to talk about, it's the talk of the town for high school sports, for college sports. It's changing so fast as athletic scholarship world, but a court in Tennessee has sided with a Vanderbilt quarterback. He was playing his senior year, and he sued the NCAA because he came from a junior college first, transferred to his college, the 4-year school, and now he's in his senior year, right? You only get 2 years to play. You had 2 years of JC or community college, and then you get another 2 years at the 4-year school. And that's just the way it's been forever. But he sued and said the junior college world I was in should not count against my 4-year college ability to keep playing, right? And the court agreed with him. So this is huge. It's blowing up everywhere. But a couple of things I want to talk about here. And the first one is, let's just get the record straight. This only applies to that one kid right now. And I'm sure the NCAA is going to appeal this. But if it holds up, now you've got a whole different world out there, right? So just remember, it only applies to this one kid. It's only this kid that's in Tennessee, that Tennessee court. So whatever's going on there, it may not play out the way everybody thinks. But right now, all I keep hearing is this just changed the youth sports with me, the college world, athletic scholarships just changed forever. The dynamics. Imagine this. You're a kid. And in fact, let's play this game. But now you're a kid in high school. You've got an athletic scholarship opportunity to a 4-year school, maybe your dream school. But you know if you go there, couple of things are going to happen. One, they're going to kind of dictate which courses you can take. And that's a big deal that a lot of people don't talk about for getting athletic scholarship. They're not going to just let you take any classes you want because they need you're there to play football or basketball or baseball, whatever your sport is. And so they need you at practice. They need you to be able to travel. And some of the disciplines, and it usually doesn't hurt you that much the first 2 years, but they're still going to try to dictate what courses you're going to take. But imagine this. Instead of you going straight to that 4-year school, you say, I'm pretty good. I'm going to go to this high-level junior college or community college, and I'm going to go play there for 2 years. Now you've got 2 years in there, so you got your general ed out of the way. And this is really big for equivalency sports, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So I'm going to get my 2 years of general ed out of the way. I'm going to transfer to this 4-year school. I've got 4 years of eligibility to play sports at the 4-year school. Plus, while I'm playing there, they're giving me money to come. I've got a discount going to that college. I might be able to get my master's, right? I can get my bachelor's finished up in 2 years. And then I can go on and take a couple more, take some more courses. I might be able to get out of there with a master's degree for the same level that somebody that went straight to the 4-year school would not be able to do. So these are the kind of things that are going to really change the balance of things. And so let's talk a little bit about the equivalency sport, head count sport thing. So a head count sport for college sports means you're getting a full ride. There's a certain number of kids that can be on that team, and every kid that's on that team is going to get a full ride scholarship, whatever that means for the school. It's usually room, board, books, housing, all of that kind of stuff, and you don't pay for the school, right? You get everything. And so there's only a couple for men right now, right? It's basketball and football. If you're D1 level, this is really important, you guys. At the D1 level, if you get a basketball or a football scholarship, it is a full ride, right? So everything's paid for. If you're D2, D3, NAIA, whatever else is going on, maybe you can get it, but maybe you don't. So just understand that. Equivalency sport, every other, for girls, head count sport. Let's get that out of the way. So it's basketball, volleyball, gymnastics, and tennis. Why? I don't know, but that's just the way it is. If you play one of those 4 sports and you're a female, if you go to college at the D1 level, you will get a full ride scholarship. I don't care what everybody else is telling you. Maybe a few people run track and field or do swimming or water polo or whatever it is, and they've got a full ride somehow, but that's very, very rare. If you're able to do that, more power to you, but most of the kids are getting a partial. And because it wasn't a big deal a long time ago, but because the cost of going to college has grown so fast, it makes a big deal now. A school could cost you $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and they can give you $18,000, $20,000, you got to make up the rest of it. And so that is where that equivalency head count sport thing becomes really, really important. So if you're this high level, football, basketball player, volleyball player for girls, gymnastics, whatever, tennis, you're in great shape. If you can get that full ride, more power to you. But this even changes that. Now, personally, if it's me and I got a full ride on one of those head count sports, I would just take it and go to the 4-year school, because going to a JC doesn't guarantee you anything. It doesn't mean you're going to transfer to that 4-year school or that you're going to get a D1. You may fall out. And here's one of the things people don't understand about community and junior colleges. A lot of really, really high level athletes don't have the grades. They don't have the ability to qualify to go to a 4-year school. They go to a JC, a community college. It's not just a cakewalk. I've told you guys since I started this, the most important thing you can do as an athlete is be in position to be able to accept an athletic scholarship offer. So not always the best athletes get the athletic scholarships. It's the best position athletes. They've got their grades together. They took the SAT, ACT. They've got the exposure that they needed. Their GPA is high enough that they can get, if they're equivalency sport, they can get some academic money on top of the athletic money to build that gap up, right? To fill in that gap a little bit. And that they took the right classes. That probably is the one that I see messes up more kids than anything else. Is they're there, they're in the school, they didn't take the right courses. I mean, it just seems like a no-brainer, but it's not always a no-brainer when if you don't know what the rules are. So we take all of that in consideration. What would you do? You've got a school that is offering you a 4-year scholarship, or offering you a scholarship, not even 4 years because nothing's guaranteed, right? Or you go to a JC. You know you can go to JC. You talk to the JC coaches. They are excited to have you there. They've got a top-notch program. Most of their kids go on to 4-year schools anyway. Which way would you go? You can get 6 years of schooling in, paid for, or you can get 4 years of school paid for. Nothing's guaranteed, but all things being equal, how would you handle that? What would you do? And so one of the things that I try to emphasize, and I'm not telling which way you should go or what you should do or anything like that, obviously. But what I am saying is the key to a successful life is positioning. Being in position to accept either, have the choice either way. But what I don't want you guys to get into, and this is what my biggest fear for this thing is people slacking off in high school. Something goes wrong in high school. They don't keep their grades up. They don't go to class. This is a big problem in high school that some kids just keep their grades up long enough to play in their sports season, and then they slack off again. And I think that could be the downfall for all of this if it goes through. You have to be the type of person. If you want to live this remarkable life, is what I'm always advocating for, that you use youth sports as a pathway to lead a remarkable life. You can never think of, okay, what's the lowest common denominator? What's the low-hanging fruit? What's the bare minimum I have to do to be able to qualify for something? You don't want to be that person, because that will transfer to the rest of your life. I'm telling you right now, it's hard to break out of that. Only way I've seen people break out of that is they happen to get connected with people that don't think that way and go, hey, what are you doing? We don't do that. You want to hang with us? You want to be up here. You don't want to do this. You want to do this. That's the world you need to get to. And it's very hard to get into that world. Maybe as an athlete, it's a little bit easier, but it's very hard to get connected with the type of people that you want that can drive the rest of your life. That's the value of being a great athlete or being a good athlete, is that the people you're around go the extra mile. That's why they're the good and the great athlete, is because they're putting in more work than the other person is doing. They're sacrificing some things. They're willing to go the extra mile, both in the classroom, both in life and on the field or the playing field. They're willing to do all of that. That's what separates them. And that's where you want to be. Those are the people you want to hang around. So I would say this, if I was telling the people that are part of what we're trying to do with AthleticSOS and sports solutions in general, I got some cool stuff coming out for 2025. I'm probably as excited as I've ever been. I've made a whole bunch of deals, and on every deal that I made, I took the lowest cut on everything, because I've got this plan in place where I'm trying to go. And I know the people that I want to be around to get there. So I've been very selective on who I'm working with, but I know I've taken the lower end of everything. In fact, I've had people call and go, hey, we can, I go, it's fine. Because I'm looking for the person who wants to reach out and do a little bit more for me, but that's okay. I'm just looking for good people to work with. I got my own plan. That's what you have to have too. But it's the type of person you are that's going to make a difference on how your life's going to turn out. Remember, on our side, we don't talk about a successful life. We don't talk about a good life. We don't talk about a great life. We're talking about a remarkable life. And this is the change that happened to me when my dad passed. And so I realized, I look back after he passed away, and we're getting ready to have his funeral and stuff, and everybody that reached out to me. If it wasn't for your dad, my dad was a community guy. Everything about him was community. So he always helped so many people. But the number of people that called me and said, if it wasn't for your dad, if it wasn't for your dad, if it wasn't for your dad, that their lives would have been so much different or for the worse. But with him in their world, it changed everything. That man had a remarkable life. And so I'm trying to live up to that sort of level. I don't think it can get there like he's up here. I thought I was doing pretty good. But what I realize is it's not about the success, the money in your pocket, the accolades, the degrees on your wall, the people you know, all of that kind of stuff. How did you affect other people? What did you do to say, hey, this was a remarkable person? That's the life that I think we all should be striving for. And I sort of switched. It's been a couple of years now since he passed away. And it really affected me in a way where I think this is the way we want to go now. So, but youth sports is a great way to get there. All the way from 5 years old to that 17-year-old. That's the bucket I'm working in right now. And what I want to do is I want to change youth sports forever. And I'll talk about this a little bit more next week and what we're going to be doing for 2025. But this came up this week. Everybody I talk to, it's funny when you're in business, they've got planned out the next 6 months. We're all worried about the holidays and stuff, but as I'm talking business and I'm learning business, these people are so far ahead of everybody else. They're not even thinking about the holidays in the same way we are. But what everyone was saying was how this is going to change everything. And I don't even think half of them actually read what actually happened. It only affects one person right now. Yes, if they went on appeal, and I'm sure the NCAA is going to appeal it, I don't know why they would waste the money on it. I pretty much think this makes a lot of sense. But if this does happen, how does that affect everything down below that? What about the kid that was a late bloomer and JC was their way to get in there, prove themselves, and get to a four-year school? Are they out of luck? Could be. What happens to prep schools? Prep schools might be a thing of the past. Why wouldn't you just go to a JC? Why would you pay and go to a prep school when you can go to a junior college? And prep schools have been growing like crazy lately. And so that may go away in a sense, because the community college becomes the prep school. The level of prep school programs, junior college and community college programs, money may pour in, because now those will be the ones everybody's looking at. Their all-star game, their first teams that could make a huge difference in your life. The second team could make a huge difference, because now you're a little bit more mature, especially for the sports that size is a big deal. And what about the coaches that were trying to get coaching spots at the four-year schools? Now you can go to JC, and maybe those JCs are going to pay you a pretty good salary. You can cut your teeth there and get in front of a lot of student athletes and really ply your trade there before you move on. You don't have to go to one of the four-year schools. There's tons of community colleges around. And then what about the trainers, and what about just everything that's going with NIL for JCs? Remember, I was talking before, the NIL was kind of creeping down into the high school world. Well, wait a minute. Why don't I go get some of these JC kids and see if we can give them some money? Because they're going to be the next ones. We know they can play at the collegiate level already, right? A high school kid may make it, but a JC kid we know has gotten to at least this level for college. And if they can keep their grades up and do what they're supposed to do, I can catch them early on their way up the ladder, and they're going to still get 4 years of the four-year school. So everything could change just like that. That's why you don't plan your life away around the bare minimum. You put yourself in position to be able to make any choice that you want to make. It changes everything about you. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about things like this for next week. I really just wanted to come give you guys this gift. I'm giving you the code. Go ahead and use the code. Our software, it's so funny because we already plugged in junior colleges. There's a lot of junior colleges that already pay for your room, your board, and you don't have to pay for school. They already give scholarships, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's already in our software, so you can go look at those now and then pay attention to the news. Go look about what I told you about to see if make sure I'm telling you the truth. And then if you're a freshman, sophomore, a junior, take a look at it and stay in line, on the news on this, so you can see where it's going. And now you can start making your choices completely differently than you were before. So these are some of the things to think about as we move forward. But remember, one thing we don't want to do, especially if you're going to follow what we're trying to do here at Sports Solutions and the things that we're going to come in, we don't do the low-hanging fruit thing. We don't hit the bare minimum. I know sometimes things happen in your life and that's where you are, but that's not what you strive for. You strive to be the best of the best of the best in everything you do. And you look for people in your world as you're doing this, as you're going through this whole thing. You're looking for people that you would want to be hanging around with 10, 15, 20 years from now. Just good people. And you be a good person at the same time. That's kind of important. Don't just fleece off of other good people. You be a good person too. And if you get that part right, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to end up with a really remarkable life. And a remarkable life is probably the best life that you can have, that you've seen and done and experienced and affected people in the most positive way possible. And you just can't believe how wonderful the world actually really is versus what you hear all the time on all the negativity. Oh, why couldn't this person do that? How come they're doing that? How come they have that over there? There's no jealousy in your heart. There's no envy in your heart. There's no woe is me. You don't have time for it because the world, the whole world just opens up. And I can't tell you how bright and big and wonderful this world is if you see it that way. And I know everything's not, roses and balloons and flowers and all that all the time. But a majority of the time, depending on your outlook on life, that's what you're going to get. Whatever your outlook is, you're going to get more and more and more of it. So I just want you guys to be on the side of seeing how wonderful this life can actually be. All right, guys, have a great holiday. If you don't have family, find some friends around. Be with some other people if you can, or go volunteer somewhere so you can be around other people anyway. If you don't have anybody or you're someplace strange where, you don't have any really connections, go find some place where you can help somebody else out. And at least you'll be around some people and be giving, and that'll hit your heart the same way. And as we move forward into 2025, we're going to go on a positive trip here as best as we can. I know everything is not positive. Charles, cut that out, right? People are in a lot of dire straits, but I think you can turn almost everything around if you put yourself in position with people that are positive people. They'll help you figure out things. There's something, some way out of everything. That's just kind of my motto now, that you're never stuck. But if you get around the wrong group, you'll feel like you're stuck a lot of times. You'll feel like the negative. You can go down a real negative hole if you don't get yourself out of that and get around some places where there's hope. But it's all inside of you. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to climb out on your own? If you're willing to climb on your own, there's people that will be there to assist you on your way back up, on your ascent. There are tons of people there. Just be a good person while you're doing it. All right, guys, I get on these things. I'm really excited. We got family flooding in this year for the holiday, so I'm going to be excited to have that happen. And have a great holiday. Merry Christmas to all of you. And we'll talk soon next week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.